Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm just excited to be away from my family right now. 12 months in the house. Oh, you wake up, they there. You go to sleep, they there. Oh, I feel like I'm doing prison time for no reason. Because, like, your family, like, you love them, but they do crazy stuff all the time, right? Because, like, right before I came out here, my husband called me. He was like, hey, what time you coming back? I said, are you crying? He was like, yeah, he over here picking on somebody. And I don't want to make you think my husband's no crybaby, because he's not. He's 6'6", 235 pounds, body like a Greek god. Something like a superhero, right? But you know, every superhero has his nemesis, right? And his is my baby boy. Like, right now, my son should be asleep, but he's not. He running around the house making my husband want to quit parenting right now, okay? Because everybody got something that people can pick on you about, right? Everybody got something. Everybody got something, right? Like, I got a little bit of middle on me. Like, you can't tell because I got a spank on. So you look like you don't know what a spank is. Oh, yeah, real tight. Like, I can always tell my spank wearers in the house, right? Because we can't laugh real loud. If you got a spank on, you gotta go, you start laughing, that thing will roll down, right? Now you look like a busted can of biscuits, right? Now, you know. Take y'all home with me. And it's so cute because, like, my husband never picks on me about what I got, right? And so I don't really pick on him about what he got going on, right? Because I love him. But you know, God can't give you anything, right? Like, even though he's 6'6", 235 pounds, body like a Greek god, he got a little something. He stutters. Look at you guys, like, oh, because you've never been with a stutterer. And it's not that, like, little cute stutter, you know, where he just slides into words. No, it's more like he's double dutching over the words. But I don't bother him because I love it. I think it's so cute, right? I used to never even put him in my set. Until one night his family came, right? And I'm having a great set, kind of like right now, right? And his whole family's having a good time. And I don't do him stuttering, because I don't want to hurt his feelings. You won't hurt nobody's feelings. You look like you might want to hurt somebody's feelings. Everybody else was like, yes, you were like, I don't care. I won't hurt your feelings. Right? So I don't do him stuttering. And then, like, that night, all of his family just get up and leave. And I was like, oh, man. What I do? I was feeling really bad, right? And my husband doesn't say anything to me all the way home. And I'm thinking, man, I don't want to hurt his feelings, right? The next morning, I get up, my husband's cooking eggs. I said, hey, babe, are you mad at me? He said, yeah. Because my mom thinks you're seeing somebody else. I said, what? He said, yeah, because the dude you did wasn't me. I said, baby, I don't want to do you stuttering in front of your mom. He said, my mom knows I stutter. But the only person that picks on him is my baby boy, right? And I didn't even know he did this until COVID. I had to see him more than I see him. I'm on the road. I'll be like, bye. Right? So we outside, we're having a great time, and my son's running around being real 13-ish, right? And my husband says, hey, man, if you do that again, I'm gonna have to get at you. My son said, I don't think so. I was like, oh my God. all right. He said, hey, man. When I tell you to sit down, or when I tell you to sit, this is how my son sat down. I'm telling you, I want to fight that little boy, right? But I know you're not supposed to be hitting kids. You can't fight no kid, right? And I don't want to like WWE fight. Like you look like woo. Just a good chop in the throat. Have you ever been chopped in your throat? He said, yes, I have. You have an old school mama, she'll bam, When we were younger, our parents left us in the car, right? You would get left in the car. They would crack the window this much, just leave you and the dog in the car, right? Both of you guys are breathing out the same window. But you can't leave these new kids in the car. You leave these new kids in the car, they be... You're like, get out of the car. New kids are completely different. Like, how old are you, sir? 16. You're 16. You're almost grown up. And what about you, madam?
I'm 16.
You're 16? Are you guys twins or somebody got different daddies? You never know. It could be a blended family. Are you twins? You look confused. Was she with you? You had a look like, I don't know, I don't remember. She could be my sister, I don't know. You look so scared at that point. You're like, is she mine? Because 16, you guys don't know how great you have it. Like, you guys have phones. You have a phone like this. You know where my phone was? Attached to the wall. We didn't have the same kind of things you guys have. Like you guys, every seat in the car, perfect. Right? When you were over 30, every seat in the car wasn't perfect. We had one seat that didn't nobody want to sit in, right? What seat was that? The middle. Nobody wanted to sit on the hop. Because now you got to walk through the store like a cowboy. You're like, leave me alone, I was riding on the hop. And you guys, we care about where you sit. Right? They have a car seat. We didn't have no car seat. We didn't even have seat belts. We just slid back and forth. Like you were a ride at Disneyland. We even sat in the front seat. And when you sat in the front seat, your mama didn't put no seat belt on you, did she? No, all she had was that arm, right? And you knew when you needed to sit back. When your head hit the dashboard, sit back. I love it because like things are so different. With my son, I told you when we were outside and he running around being crazy, normal parents would be like, boom. Back in the day, your mama would boom. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not supposed to hit kids, so roundhouse. Quack, quack. You show up, the officer's like, did you kick him? Yes, sir. Actually, it was a roundhouse. But he doesn't the only person that he doesn't mess with is my Gigi. Because Gigi's a gangster. Oh, Gigi been kicked out of 3 nursing homes. She's a gangster. Gigi don't wear nothing but a house coat, button one button, let it all hang out. She's a gangster. The worst summer I ever spent was with Gigi because she's an old school grandma. Anybody got old school grandmas? Some of y'all might be old school grandmas. Because old school grandmas are totally different. Like new grandmas, they 30, they in the club. They TikToking. Not an old school grandma. Gigi's like, okay. He's like, I'm not playing with you. When I say do something, I mean it. One morning I said, good morning, Gigi, have a good day. She said, what'd you say to me? She said, you don't tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me. And so Gigi, she was like, that summer, she was like, I want to talk to all of y'all. Okay, gather round. She said, this ain't gonna be the same kind of thing you used to at your house. Just running around and acting crazy. She said, when I tell you to do something, ooh. She said, I'm not like Cucaracha. And Cucaracha is what Gigi calls my mom. And Cucaracha's not her name, except, but my mother is a Dominican. She's from the Dominican Republic, right? Like, is there any Dominicans in the house? Just me. Right? And my mother, like Gigi, she gives her such a hard time. She's like, anytime my mom says anything to Gigi, she's always like, can somebody tell me what Cucaracha said? Because I don't speak Spanish. And my mother is always dancing. My mother's like, hey. She know I just said hi. She won't die. She won't die. I think that's why I have such a love for music. Because my mother is like just full of life. She's 5'1". You think I'm happy. Boy, my mom be like, oh my God. You're going to the drive-by? And my mother taught us when we were younger, she was like, she wanted everybody to play an instrument, right? And so I was like, oh, she was like, but there's 7 of us. So she had one requirement. She said, whatever you play had to fit in my mama purse. Because she's like, I'm not going to carry no heavy old purse. So my oldest sister played the tambourine. My other sister played the clarinet. I got 2 sisters that played I almost forgot what they played looking at your pretty face. I had two sisters that played the saxophone. They had to take turns carrying my mama purse. My brother played the flute. Don't judge him. There was no more room in my mama purse. And by the time I came along, there was this much room. That's right. I played the triangle. And I grew up in church. Anybody grow up in church? Anybody grow up in church? Right? And you know that there's not a lot of gospel music with triangles in it. I think there's a lot of triangle haters in the gospel community. Because in like church, everybody get a solo. You know, everybody, like the guitar, he gets his solo thing, the drums, and I wanted a solo. I said, me and my triangle, we gonna take a solo. And my sister said, don't you do it. And Gigi's gonna kill you. And I said, not in front of the Lord, she ain't. So when I got to church, right, that next Sunday morning, my sister was like, oh. Right? They were playing, Yes, Jesus Loves Me, right? My sister was on the tambourine. My brother was killing it on the flute. And the church was like, yes, Jesus loves me. Oh, yes. And I was like, oh. I hushed down the choir. Gigi was like, don't you do it. And right when they said, Jesus loves me, she didn't even miss a beat. She just kept on singing, yeah, do you love me? And I was like, I know he loved you, but he could have warned me. Like, I love karaoke. Y'all like karaoke? Now, do you have a favorite song?
I like all of them.
You're like, I got all of them. When you get to doing karaoke, do you grab that mic and know you are a karaoke queen? Right? Because the first time I did karaoke, I did it in church. And church karaoke is totally different, right? Church people will let you know you can't sing. Church people will. Especially my church, they were like, baby, Come on down from there. He said, make a joyful noise. Come on down from there. Come on down from there. Play the tambourine like everybody else. Come on down from there. But not karaoke. When you do regular karaoke, boy, they make you feel like you're a karaoke queen. Then you just grab out that mic. And people always look so serious. And I become a judge at karaoke. Do you, right? I'm judging. And I'm like, ooh, she can sing. Look, ooh, she about to kill it. And she'll be like, Go ahead, start that song. If you like it, I'll sing it at your house. Here we go. Small dogs will be like, there's always that one lady who thinks that she can sing, and she gets up there, but she doesn't know any of the words, right? And she's like, oh my God, this is such an amazing song. My friends picked this for me, but I don't know any of the words. Ah! And she never even sings. She talks through the whole song, right? And there's only a few people that people do in karaoke. Like everybody knows that somebody's gonna sing a classic, right? Somebody's gonna sing Cher. And Cher's a beautiful lady, but for some reason, it's always a guy. And when he grabs out that mic, he becomes Cher. Do you believe in love after love and love and love? Believe in love and sad and sad. Love that is strong enough. You know that. You guys are like you're at a concert. Right? And somebody's gonna sing Rihanna. And Rihanna is a beautiful girl, but I'm not sure Rihanna's elevator goes all the way to the top. Oh no, because Rihanna just stands there, especially by the song she first started singing. Remember when she first came out? She was like, not everybody knows how to work my body, knows how to make me want it. Oh, nah, was my name, was my name, was my name, was my name. No, really, was my name. She didn't even know her own name. Especially like the latest one, work, 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 everybody work, work. What are you, a supervisor? I love traveling. I've always got to go some really cool places, right? I went to Australia. Has anybody ever been to Australia? You been to Australia? Oh my, Australia is amazing. They have pink sand beaches. Woo! You get out there, it's like a cloud, baby. You be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, when I get to Australia, that's how I swim. Oh yes, because I want the fish to know I will kick you in your face. And I was out there and I'm swimming and I'm having a great time, right? And all of a sudden, there's these people and they're playing with something. So I swim over there. I said, what are y'all playing with? And the lady said, a shark. I said, oh, okay. I said, let me let you play with your friend. She says, no. It's a nurse shark. And nurse sharks don't bite. And I'm thinking, how do you know that this is a nurse? What if it is a doctor? He gotta bite you because you disrespected his education. So I'm getting ready to get out the water, you know? And then another lady said, no. She said, now you know what to do if a shark comes too close to you. And I'm thinking, run? Oh yeah, because Jesus walked on water, but I'm a high knees it up out of there. She said, no. She said, if a shark comes too close to you, you know what you're supposed to do. Anybody know what you're supposed to do? Look, they gave it only to the white people. wants to channel my inner Aussie. Oh, Roy. Crikey's. I'm going to punch you in the face. I am. Right in front of your mates. Right in the kisser. But do you know how slow you punch underwater? It's not like, it's more like, The shark's like, you know I'm gonna bite that off, right? So I'm getting ready to get out of the water, right? And I'm like, man, I'm getting out. This man says, no, Jaylyn. He said, they just trying to scare you. And I'm like, it worked. He said, as long as you don't do one thing in the water. And I'm like, what does that be in the water? He says, no, as long as you don't pee in the water. You won't get bit by a shark. Now let me ask you something. You look real smart. If you see a shark in the water, chances are you done already peed in the water. And to be honest, a little bit of doo-doo came out, right? Don't go over there. Where's the blue stuff? Man, I love cruising. I took my family on a cruise. I asked my parents, I said, because my father, I forgot to tell you guys about my father. I'm having so much fun. I forgot to tell you about father. My father is the coolest, because I'm half Latino and half black. And my father's the coolest brother you ever want to see. On my 18th birthday, that's how cool my dad is. He walked in the room, he said, good morning, happy birthday. Checkout time's at noon. Some of you parents are like, let me write that down. But my father, the only thing that keeps my father cool level from being at 100 is when my dad sees too many lights on. Right now, my father would lose it. And when we were younger, my father used to walk in the house and be like, why y'all got all these lights on? You don't need lights on in the daytime. And who left the door open? Close the door. Was you born in a barn? And he does it every place he goes. And me and my sister were laughing about it. I said, goodness forbid anything happens to my father. I could see my father in heaven walking down that long, bright tunnel. And at first he'd be all happy, he'd be like, yeah. Until he realized it brightly lit. Then he's like, okay. Okay. And then as soon as he got to the pearly gates and they were sitting wide open, whoa, who left the door open? And right before he freaked out, he'd see Jesus. He'd be like, oh, hey, Jesus, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, it's beautiful. He's like, oh. I didn't think I was going to make it, Jesus. I didn't make it. Jesus, you don't need all them lights on. Put some candles out, let the clouds illuminate it. Jesus just be looking at my dad, he'd be like, wait a minute, Jesus, who left the door open? Close the door, let him ring the doorbell. A little anticipation ain't killed nobody. Jesus would be looking at my father like he was crazy, right? My dad would be like, I know. You don't care, do you? Because you ain't paying for all of this. Because this is your father's house. Anybody that didn't go to church goes, I don't get it. Doesn't he live with his dad? I don't get it. Well, I love my parents. Even though they're crazy, my whole family he's crazy. I wanted to do something really special for him, right? So I said, Mom, what do you want to do? My mom's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. As long as I'm with you, I don't care. Right? I asked my dad. My dad was like, I ain't like your mother. I know exactly what I want to do. I want to go on a cruise. I was like, Dad. I said, you want to gamble? That ain't what I do. I said, oh, you want to get at that buffet? That ain't what I do. I said, you want to go on an excursion? That ain't what I do. Take your mother to all that. So I knew my dad was going to be cool because he wasn't going to be doing nothing. Right? So I took my mother ziplining in Jamaica. Right? You ever been ziplining before? You have? When you go ziplining, they normally give you a helmet, right? Not in Jamaica. In Jamaica, they said, if you don't have that, you don't need that. And it was so funny because my mother was so excited. She was dancing and stuff. She's like, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. I said, Mom, you know you can't dance like that up on the line. She goes, I'm not. I'm going to do this. And when you went ziplining, did they give you a glove? Yes. Not in Jamaica. In Jamaica, they say, if you don't have it, you don't need it. Plus, you don't need no glove. Glove is for stopping. If you think you need to stop, think again. So we get up there, and it's me and my mother and 5 of the tiniest women I've ever seen in my life. These women are so skinny. I think they're trying to get down to their birth weight. 5 pounds and 15 ounces. Right? When we get up there, they all decide for some reason on the 3rd line to all go down together. And I was like, ooh. Right? And they all get stuck. And when they get stuck, I was like, ooh. I look around, my mother has danced down. She's on the ground, she's like, I don't want to be a party pooper. You go, have a good time. I'm going to be right here. Right? So now, all the ladies, they start screaming, oh, we gonna fall. Ooh, we better fall. And the guide was cooler than my dad. He was like, it's all right. It's okay. If you fall, the ground will catch you. And then I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, you gotta do something. Go down there. He goes, Jamaicans don't zip line. Maybe bobsled, but no zip line. So now I am freaking out. I'm like, oh, you gotta do something, right? Everybody's screaming. He said, okay, let me call me supervisor. Supervisor, yeah. We got a slight problem. Yeah. All the skinny girls got stuff. We're not going down there, it's dangerous. But me think we got a solution. We gotta send the fat tubby girl. The one with the big belly. And I'm laughing at first. I was like, he about to send a big girl with a big belly? Wait a minute! I have on a spank, sir! We get back to the ship, and I don't know if anybody has ever been on cruises. Have y'all been on a cruise before? I love it, but when you go on a cruise, like there's this thing called back on board. And if you've never been on a cruise, that's the time you gotta be back on board. Or they'll leave you. But before they leave you, they do something really cool, don't they? They call your name over the loudspeaker. And I don't know why they call your name, because you ain't on the board. Right? I think it's so that everybody else can run up and get a good spot and watch you run in, right? So I hear them calling somebody's name. I take off. I said, come on, Mom, let's go. My mom's like, no, I'm not going, because that's no funny. I said, Mom, they just lose a flip-flop. Let's go. She goes, no, I'm not going. And I don't think you should go neither, because that's your father's name. She's like, I've been hearing it for 40 years. That's your father's name. Right? And it's not funny when they about to leave your family, right? screaming, run! You better run! And here comes my daddy, walking all slow. And you know what he says? That ain't what I do. So I'm like, Mom, they about to leave him. Oh, they about to leave him. My mom's like, oh, they're about to leave him. I said, they're gonna leave him. She goes, the whole vacation? I said, the whole vacation. She goes, the whole vacation. I said, the whole vacation. She goes, oh. Captain, let's go! Rapido, he know what time to be back. Let's go! I'm like, Mom, don't say that. She goes, I'm sorry, I don't speak English. You speak English! Right? Now, they're pulling up the ropes. They started up the engine. People are really screaming. It's like my father's walking even slower, like he's going backwards. Don't cry, Mila. Okay. Hey, Captain, wait a minute. Everybody, stop screaming. That's only for the Latinos in the house. Stop screaming. He's like, hey, I got you one.